need to do here? There we go. Okay. Need to move some things around. Okay, on our agenda, business alerts, notifications, reports, and questions and answers. And as I said, we'll start with the business alerts. These will help you, hopefully, with your schedules during the day, keeping on top of what things need to be done, and hopefully making your life just a little bit more simple as need be. So business alerts, it's a tool for sending messages on a scheduled basis. Now this is a really important word, a scheduled basis. This is not a triggered-based event. So if you want a triggered-based event, we will have to look at a different option for you. But these business alerts are scheduled. It is all dependent and based on a query of the data that you're looking for. The important thing is, as long as the data exists, you will get notified on that scheduled basis. You will continue to be notified unless someone changes the condition or the data no longer exists. But again, this is not a triggered report. This is, so in other words, if you wanted to put a customer on hold and you wanted the event or the condition to be activated upon that trigger of putting somebody on hold, this is not what you're going to be wanting. This is going to be set up however you set it up for the schedule, so that when Microsoft refreshes and that schedule is hit, depending on your parameters, then you will be alerted to these holds for customers and so forth. Some good examples of alerts, a couple of them, maybe a sales manager wants to be alerted when prices are too low. That could be an alert. You could set that up on a sales table to alert you when things are getting sold too low or maybe too high, any kind of parameter you'd like there. Another example of a good alert may be that your managers want to know when their employees' certificates or certifications, licenses, trainings, those sort of things are coming due, or if they are expired. These things may be important to keep a position, or even for quality circumstances, you may need to keep these certifications and trainings up to date. So you might want to set up an alert saying that Pilar, his welding certification is coming due. That manager may need to know that in order to keep Pilar working on those welds. All right. And I just kind of mentioned those examples right there. And what you need to set up alerts is Dynamics GP 2013, 2015, or 2016. You can use these alerts on any three of these or any upcoming versions that will be around, but nothing before 2013. You will need a SQL Server Standard Edition or above, not Express. You will have to have a SQL Server agent running. Usually these are running if you have SQL Server. It's like when your backups are running, your server will kick those off, that kind of thing. This will be a necessity in order for them to run. And the SQL mail or database that sends alerts via email, that would have to get set up if you want the email portion of these alerts. But also another option for these alerts is just to have them pop up on your home page within GP for the users that are within GP. Now, the reason I have the SQL Server agent running highlighted in red is simply just to let you know that today when we go through our examples and our setup, I will not be able to show you these on our home page or the alerts via email because I don't have the email set up for one, and I am not running on a server agent right now. I'm on just my PC without it being connected to the server. So I do have examples of showing you on the slide deck that they do show up and where. So hopefully that will be good enough for you for right now, but we can, if you want to do this one-on-one, we could probably set that up in a little bit more detail, but for time sake today, we just didn't have time to go through all that kind of setup. So we're just going to hit the main points that you need, and we can do the more detailed things later if you'd like. So when we set up an alert, first we want to define the alert. What's the alert going to be? What's it for? We need to create the query to do it. We need to set up the notification, and then we need to schedule that notification. And here, since I'm not able to show you exactly where when I go through the setup of an alert, I won't be able to show you because I don't have the server running. Here it would show up, if you can see this, right on your home page under your new tasks, your tasks to do. It would be an outline or an underlined item right here popping up saying, you have this task or you have this alert here in case you want to look at it. So now one thing you want to do is when you do have an alert, you're going to want to click on that and you're going to want to see it, and then you're going to want to complete it. If you don't complete it, it'll just stay at pending and it'll just stay on your home page. So we can go through that process too. I believe I can do that for you to show you that as well. Another thing that some people miss when they do set up alerts is to make sure that they set them up in their to-do details that are on their home page. And again, we'll go through that during our example. But don't forget, you know, people will always, well, not always, but some people will get everything set up, all this detail of setup, and then they forget to go into their to-do details and mark their notifications here, or their tasks or their reminders, and they'll call asking, why am I not getting my reminders? Why am I not getting my notifications? We've set everything up perfectly and checked and double checked, but we're still not getting them. Go back into your to-do list, make sure that these are turned on so that you do get them. Otherwise, you just won't get them if these are not set up too. Okay? So let us go through creating a new alert. I'm going to go into my GP here. And we will start off with going into Microsoft Dynamics GP. We will go into Tools, Setup, System, and then we can go down to Business Alerts right here. Okay? And then you'll see this window pop up. Now I do want to show you there is another way to get to it, just real quick here. You can go on your administrative tab and you can just slide over to business alerts as well. All right. Here, this would be, you could use a new one or you could modify an existing one, but let's just go with this new one so you can see the full wizard here. And we'll get those set up for you. All right, Business Alert, here we go. Okay, so welcome to Business Alert Wizard. Here you can see you can create a new alert or you can modify an existing one. The other way that I showed you, you can go into Admin under Cards and Business Alerts, and that will bring you mostly right to the modified ones. You would be able to select one that's created and modify it at that window, which is a little bit easier. So we'll click on Next. All right, now we just want to simply fill out the fields that we have to. Again, the red ones are required. So we want to pick our database. Now you can see that you have a system database here for Dynamics, and then you have a company database here. And in this case, we'll just use my my company one, which is only one company. And I'm going to set up an alert for, let's say, customer holds. And then I'll just give it a nice description here. on hold. And the nice wizard here, we'll just click on next. Now, I want to stop here for 1 second. If you have a company that has more than one company within it, like if you have an organization with 3 companies, you would have to set up an alert for each company. You would have to go through this 3 times, selecting that company, in order to get an alert set up for customer holds on all 3 companies. It does not flow between companies. It is only set up per company. So that's just a little side note for you to keep in mind. We'll click next. And here we select our tables. So we're going to go and look at our series, and if it's on hold, I think I just want to put it on our, purchasing, okay. And then we're just going to look at, sales. And then we're going to go into, let's see, customer master, I believe, is where the hold box is, where we mark it. Here we are. Okay. So we're just going to double click that. We're going to insert it, and here we have our table that we want to choose on how we're going to set up our hold alert. We'll click next, and now here's our little define alert formula. So we have all these magnificent operator buttons, so you don't have to think too hard on what you want to do. We'll just select the table that we already have selected, and we're going to add, and then we're going to add the column name. And I want to put that in as a hold, so let's see, right there. Okay, I'm going to add that column. And then we have to add a constant. What do we want to do with this hold field? What is it that we're going to do? I'm going to make it equal to, so I can type an equal sign in there, or I can click the equal from the operator menu. And this part here is pretty important too. To define the alert, when you choose the table and the column name that you want, you have to know the data that is stored in the database. You have to know how it is stored in the database, not how it appears on the screen here, but how it's stored in the database. Now, if you, in GP, if it's a marked box, if this is a box that needs to be marked, as it is in this situation, customer hold would be the box checked would equal the number 1, and the unchecked box would equal 0. So in this case, we want to have a report that shows people on hold. So 1 would equal a hold for the employee, or for the data that we're trying to get. So I'm going to put a 1 in this constant here. And then that is our formula for this alert. Now, again, if you wanted to do an expiration date on certifications, let's say, we would go ahead, we would put our table in there, we would set it all up here, and here we would put our formula of how we wanted to get notified on those alerts. Do we want to be notified on the expiration date, or do we want to be notified on renewal date, that sort of thing? We would certainly put that column name in here, and then we would put our operator and formula in here to make sure that we're getting alerted on the correct data. So we'll click next, and here we're going to set up our notifications. So our alert notifications can either be by email, user ID, and they can be sent in these formats. Now, if you look, we have it set on email, and here we have the option of sending a message only, or we could send a message and a report via email. Now, if you notice, if I go into user ID, none of these are marked. You cannot send a message only, and you cannot send a a report with it. It's just going to be a message on your home page, as I showed you on our previous slide, that there is an alert and it needs to be attended to, and then you can go into a smart list. So let's say we're going to use user ID. We're going to select a user that is in our user profiles within GP, and I'm set up as a SA right now, so I'm going to select SA and I'm going to enter that. You can select as many user IDs as you wish, and you can remove them as well. So now that I know that I'm just going to do this through GP, I'm going to say customer hold alert. Please review smart list customers on hold. So that would be the message that's going to show up in my home page under tasks. Click next. Here is our schedule. How often do you want this alert to come out? Do you want it to come out daily, weekly, monthly? You can set it up as much as you want or as little as you want. You can set it up once at a certain time, or you can set it up one every hour. You could even set it up every minute if you'd like, but I'm not sure if you'd want to have that many things filling in on your home page, but that's totally up to you. You can set it up for every 30 minutes. You can set it up for whatever amount of hours, your duration, your start, your end date. You could have it as a no end date. You can choose to keep the history. You can want to make sure that you enable the business alert. Okay, and then we will click finish. And that is it. That is all you need to do. So now if you want to go look, we can go under our business alerts. And here, look at all these. Look at all these alerts that are set up. There are some set up with GP already that come with it. And we have some customer holds here. Let's select one. This one, I believe, was already canned. I don't think ours was quite that intricate, but we can take a look at it. We want to keep the history. We have it enabled. Here's the message that is going to pop up on my home page, and here's the formula that goes with it. Now, if I chose to, I can modify this alert. You just click on that button, and you would click on next. I still want to keep that table. I still want to keep this formula, but you could certainly change that. And I want it to go by email, so let's just say I wanted to go by email now instead of user ID. Then you would select your email address. And then the password, which I don't have set up, but this is how it would look. And then you would just click next. Okay, and then I could even keep it as, oops, they won't let me do it now because I don't have email set up. Okay. And then if I wanted to change the alert frequency, the schedule, you certainly could do that. I could just say I want it weekly on a Friday, and I want it, I'll keep it once at 12 a.m. I do want to put an end date of it, let's say 12/31/2017, and then finish. So that's the alert that's modified. All right. So let's go back and show you where the to-do details are, just so we can make sure that we cover that piece. So in your to-do on your home page, you could either go in here on your pencil, and there they are. You just want to make sure everything is set up the way it should be. You can look at this. We're going to cover this a little bit with notifications, but this is where you would set up some notifications. Okay, or you could always click on your customized home page, and you can set up the to-do list from this way too. Don't forget that piece. Some people do. All right. Now, one thing about business alerts. Business alerts they're allowed for any of the tables that are in GP, or they're also allowed for any of the integrated tables that are within GP. So the tables that come with GP are the tables that are like the core GP. The products are like GL, payroll, receivable management, payable management, SOP, POP, those kind of things. That's your core GP. Alerts are also available for the integrated products, which are some of them are like HR or project accounting, fixed assets, that kind of thing. Now, if you do want to use those, you have to turn them on. So in order to turn them on, say if you were going to do the certification report, you would want to use the HR tables for that. So how you would do that is you would go into the administration, and then we would go into utilities, and we would go down to business alerts. Okay? And then again, we would select our dictionary, and I'm just going to click on, let's see, human resources, and I'm going to look at, I'm going to look at payroll. And here, look at all these tables that pop in here for human resources. Okay. I'm also going to look at, here's certification manager. And here's a bunch of the certification tables. So I would probably, for these guys, I have them set up already. You can just select them all. You can remove them all, or you can just select a few. I would want to probably get, for sure, I think they're all in here. Let's go into certification, licenses, an expiration date would be in here. Maybe setup. I'm sure setup would have it, so we would select that. And some other ones if you thought the master, required master certification. And then we can just process that, and that goes right up to the tables that we want the alerts set up in. Okay? So just remember, if you're not seeing the tables that you're wanting to set up an alert for, if it's not the core table, GP core tables, then you're going to have to go into this administrative under utilities and grab the tables that are out there for any integrated systems. And also it will work with system databases, system dynamics, or company databases as well. And you would have to turn them on here. Okay. So right now I'm going to ask if anybody has any questions. I'm just going to take a small pause here and see if anyone has any questions. I'm going to take you guys off of mute. Anybody have any questions so far? I don't see any. Okay, so let's move on. Let's go to notifications. All right. So notifications. In notifications, we have, again, business alerts that we just went over. There's workflow notifications. We're not going to touch workflow much at all today, but I know my coworker Bo has gone and done some webinars and some information on this. So I believe they are out on our website if you'd like to take a peek at that, and I can give you that information towards the end. We have predefined reminders and smart list reminders. These are some pretty helpful things for us. The business alerts we already went through, and the workflow, I'm not going to touch on those quite today, and the predefined ones, let's just go through those real quick. And I know we're kind of running out of time, so I apologize for that, guys. So let's go back into our GP and our predefined reminders. It's kind of what I showed you before. It's on our home page. You can get to it easily this way. And then you would go on to reminders. And here are some reminders that you can predefine to set up. So here are some categories. You can mark whatever you'd like or not like. And you can set up a reminder days after the date, days before. You can set it up to whatever works best for you. And another wonderful thing is these cues. If you don't know what a cue is, it's just a little icon that kind of gives you an idea. It's just a visual of what these things are showing. So I've got them all marked, and I set these up. I'm going to click OK. And also custom reminders. Let's go through this while I still have this open. We have SmartList custom reminders. So you can click on any of those. And let me see. What do I want to do? I'm going to have a history payroll journal, and I'm going to make it a total columns is equal to, well, I'm going to say is not equal to 0, and then I can save that. Now, if you notice, if I have this marked, the display as Q, it does not get lit up. But if I have this marked, number of records is equal to or greater than or less than is not equal to 0, I'm going to keep that, and then I'm going to mark this display as a Q, and I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to click on refresh, and here are my reminders. I must not have had any of the ones that I just marked, but here's an overdue invoice one, a payables due, gives you the amount of records that are in this, so that's very helpful too. All right, and then in tasks, we can look at our tasks. I have set up some tasks here as a reminder to show up on my home page. I want to know when to check for payroll updates, tax updates. So I want to open this, and this is the task that I chose. This is the date that I want it. It is not complete yet. I'm going to put it as pending, and I assigned it to my SA. And then I have a link to, so it's going to be able to pop me right into this window if I want to. So it's going to be a Microsoft Dynamics window that I want. And then I would click here, and I would choose the window that I want to look at as soon as I click on that on my home page. It would be under Maintenance, and it would be under U.S. Payroll is the window that I would want to check to make sure there are none. So then I would click Save, and here it is under our tasks. That will pop up whenever I have it scheduled, and it's going to tell me where to go look. Okay? And there it is, payroll tax updates. All I have to do is just look at it, run it if I had some, and it's not set up because there are none. I don't have that set up right now, but this is how you would do it. You can do this for any window within GP. Anybody that has any, you have any windows, I'm just going to cancel. Come on, let me out. Hang on, guys. Okay. Close window. Okay. But any window that we have in GP, you certainly can do that. So let me know if those are something you're interested in. Anything that we're covering today, I'd be happy to go with you in more detail should you ever want it. You just need to reach out to one of us here at Implementation Specialist, and any one of us can help you on any of these things, okay? All right, so Smart List. Everybody knows about Smart List. We have a Smart List. Let's go into a Smart List. We can set up notifications for Smart List. Let's go into a purchasing one. Let's go into vendors. And let's just go into a default here. And let's say I just want to save this as a test, smart list. And I want to add it and add a favorite and a reminder. So if this is a report that you run every day, let's say, you choose your report, you save it as a smart list favorite. You can, again, number of records is equal to, and it's going to show that display queue if you like. If you choose to remind when total columns is not equal to or is less than, oh, let's go greater than 1. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's just go down here. Do this a simple way today. 0, and then we will go out of here. And we can see our little test smart list has been added. Okay. And then it should, let's go, I forgot what I was going to do. Let's just do which report I was in, but let's go into a vendor. Let's go into purchases. Let's show somebody that's on hold. So we have vendors on hold right here is 102. All right, let's just show you an example of how that updates. Going to Australia, we'll mark the hold button, we'll say save. And let's go home. Still 102, but let's refresh. And it brings you right into our report. You click on it, and should have went to 103. But let's see. Okay. Now, let's move on to some reporting since we're still running out of time, and I don't want to take all of your lunch hour, guys. So reports, you can get to that a couple of ways too. Let's go into Microsoft Dynamics GP, and let's go into routine and company, and then report setup. Look at all the report setups here we have. So report setups, this is going to generate reports to wherever you put a default location to. I have set them up to my folder, and I have put on next report file name. And you have an option of how many, or these different categories of what kind of report format you're going to get. I'm going to have mine as text, so I'm going to save that. Okay, and then I'm going to go back into, let me just see, I'll show you where it is in the cards. It's under administrative routines, and then here are your options, easily looked at as well. So I want to go into report schedule, and here's a whole bunch of reports that you can choose if you don't want to schedule it all, weekly, monthly. You can schedule them for weekdays, every day, start date. All these options are here for you. Let's go into a report. Oh, and another thing too, these are all as in the series. If you choose that you want to have them some other way, down here, I hope you can see it, way down here at the bottom of the screen, you can choose how you want to display them. I like to display them as a report name, simply because I know my name of the report that I want. Let's say I want the, let's say age trial balance, okay? So you could set them up in any way that you like for that. And I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it monthly. And I will do it start date on 5/1. And it will calculate the next date. And I want it on the first Monday. Okay. I will keep the report as current only. I don't really want the priors. This is the path they're going to go to, that they're going to be published to. And then I will click display. At least 1 month must be marked. Excuse me. Let's say May. Okay. And now this will get published to my path that I have here. Okay. And that, my friends, is a very nice deal. Look at all of these reports that you get. Now, as you noticed, I did set my display as my report name. Once I click on display, it goes back to series. And I tell you, I look to see if there's a default that we can set that to so it stays at my report name. I have not found it yet, but I will keep looking. And I hope I will find it soon. If I do, I will make sure I send that out to you so that you guys have that information. All right. So, excuse me. Now, we have report publishers. You have to set up your publishers in order to have a report published to them. Here are the publishers that I have in my GP, and I have it set up for to be published for this report. And I want to point out this report option. So this is going to give you some restrictions on that report so that it's always pulling up your correct data. For instance, let's just say, let's go into, I want to pick out a report, let's say trial balance. Your report options in that window is right here. That's what it's referring to, is those report options. And when we have it set up and saved, this is the options of what they're looking for. That report will be saved with this option for you so that whenever it's running accurately. So for instance, for the from and to date, you may not want it to be a date because then it wouldn't be very efficient. It wouldn't give you the right information all the time, otherwise, unless you were changing the date constantly. So maybe you want to change to the from and to date to current, or maybe you want to say it from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. Okay, and then you would save this report, and then once you have that report set up in your publish, it will come every month with these criteria the options selected on here, and you won't have to mess with those dates anymore or any kind of options at all. So that's very handy. You don't have to keep running these reports over and over. The system will automatically do it for you as how you have it set up. Okay. And then lastly, I believe we did the publishing, the report names. You can always change a name if you don't like the name. You can always say company address, and that will remain the same. Misspelled, but it's okay. And then report catalog. Report catalog are all of the reports you no longer want to have, but you want to see them in case you need them. They can be moved over here to the report catalog, and you can delete them from your current catalog that you see in your schedule right here. All right. Okay. So everybody, I hope I went over a little bit on time. I apologize. We did go through the reports. And in our recap, we did touch on the business alerts, on setting some up. We created an alert and modified an alert. We set up some notifications, and we also set up some reports. Does anybody have any questions on any of this information right now? I'll take a look. You are off of mute if you would like to speak up or chime in, give me some thoughts that you might have. Any questions, you can certainly type any questions into the chat window or into the question area of the meeting. Okay. Well, everyone, thank you so much for attending today's webinar and taking your lunch time to spend time learning about alerts, notifications, and reports. If you have any questions or want any more information on this, I'd be happy to send it out to you. Our phone number is on the slide showing to you right now, and our support email address and our website. Again, as you may know, our website, if you go out to our website, all of our webinars are recorded and they can be found out there for future dates, or if you want to just go back and review them, just simply click on the IS Corp website and under events, and you should be able to find any of the webinars that we have presented. And if you have any questions, please let us know. We are always happy to help you in anything we can. And we look forward to seeing you again on another webinar. Have a wonderful day, and happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. Thank you. Bye-bye.